Right Network. Mobilizing, countering the left, energizing the right. New Right Network, home of the New Right movement.
No, what the fuck is he? I can't stop this. Yes, please.
Spectacular!
Merlin, you're a fucking genius!
You gotta tell them Silent Breed is people!
From the Smith Radio Studios, it's Carrie and Brian Smith. This is Smith Radio. You can tweet at Smith Radio, SMYTH Radio. And now, your host, Carrie and Brian Smith.
Man, I'm going to have to get somebody to redo that old Smith Radio clip there. But good evening, everybody. Welcome to New Right Network tonight. Your host, Brian Smith, at Smith.tv. This is our new show, folks. This is where we're at. New Right Network is the big umbrella of MAGA. Folks, Keep America Great Again, America First agenda. A lot of great writers there that write a lot of great articles and blogs. We'll be showcasing them here on Smith.tv in conjunction with New Right Network tonight. If you are listening to this audio only on iHeartRadio or through Smith Radio or through other means, iTunes, as well as some of the other podcasts. And a quick shout out, folks, to Hutch Bailey, good friend of the show, good friend of ours, promoting the show as well on the terrestrial radio AM. And again, if you're listening to this audio on iHeartRadio, it is Smith Radio still. So with that being said, folks, that very beginning, that was a good friend of ours, Saul, S-O-L. If jump on the Twitter, Saul does some incredible things when it comes to. Let me grab it real quick. Saul does some really good things when it comes to memes, and the handle is at SOLMEMES1. So at Saul Memes 1, must follow for some incredible memes, folks. This meme war is for real. This is no lie. This is all out, and I apologize for those of you that this is a PG show. This is not one of those shows that your kids could listen to, and we keep it really clean. I apologize. I did not realize that Saul had couple of bombs in that meme there. My bad. I apologize. I pulled back right away. Okay, with that being said, this is Smith.tv, New Right Network tonight. We give you the real news, exposing the fake news every night, Monday through Friday, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern. On Mondays and Thursdays, though, just because of the way schedules work out and the way things work out, my co-host Carrie Smith at Smith Radio is indisposed, if you will. And so Monday nights and Thursday nights will be just kind of like a free flow night. I've got the Periscope pulled up here on the other monitor. So for those of you on Periscope, Jamie for Trump 960, glad that you jumped on. Folks, crush to share, crush to follow. Nettie MMS just joined, Mr. Producer. So thank you very much, folks, for jumping on and sharing the show with your friends, your family. Just looking real quick, we've got some of the usual suspects. Antonio Daniels there. Group Stuff is here. Okay, cool, Group Stuff. And then we got Shadowed Spook as well. Oh, A Red Pill Report, what's going on, brah? I tell you what, I get some great news from you. Thank you so much, folks. At A Red Pill Report, an absolute must follow. Some great breaking news, great articles that come up real quick right away. And one of the articles that I got from let's see, where is that? Come on, man. All right, let's bring this up. Again, this is just a scope. This is free flow tonight. And just going to give you some of the breaking news. What an incredible weekend. Man, oh man, if you're in the Midwest, it was a beautiful weekend to be outside. We enjoyed our time. We knew the Mueller had handed his report off to Barr on Friday, and we all sat back and said, all right, let's see how this thing plays out. And at Red Pill Report, some other breaking news. So I'll get to the Donald Trump thing. The Trump thing was pretty big, folks. The Mueller report's out, a complete nothing burger, and I'm going to get into all that stuff. There's some incredible videos that are out from the mainstream media, the CNNs, the MSNBCs, and then somebody also put together a montage clip for us that is just, folks, we've got to gloat. We've got to gloat about this. Oh, yes, we are. We're doing the victory laps. I'm going to be doing a victory lap all night long. So grab your favorite adult beverage and join me. This is going to be an incredible time. You're going to love every minute of it. But a report that broke today that I got from A Red Pill Report, Jussie Smollett. Yeah, you remember Jussie Smollett, right? He's back in the news. Well, he's back in the news for an odd reason, if you will. Today, attorney Michael Avenatti, the porn star lawyer, the guy who was taking advantage of and now that we know, abusing, if you will, Stormy Daniels. And now she's got a lawsuit out against him as well. She's going after him. But apparently Michael Avenatti has just now received 4 federal criminal indictments. Yeah. Old boy attempted to go after Nike and to shake them. How do you shake down the corporation Nike? Nike is so huge, and their lawyers are so well paid for. I mean, think about that. And great memes. There you go. Shout out to Spook giving a shout out to Saul. But no, seriously, how do you shake down Nike? How do you shake down Walmart? I mean, I get it back in the day, that one lady that scalded herself with the coffee that did the shakedown on McDonald's and won millions of dollars, which is absolute pure insanity. That's why some of that stuff needs to be reformed. But anyways, I digress. So Avenatti attempting to shake down Nike, or he was going to turn on them and use his high-profile status. So now he's got four federal criminal indictments on him today, Monday. Folks, this is probably about the greatest Monday we've ever had since Tuesday, the day that Donald Trump won. But I digress. Jussie Smollett's attorney is Michael Avenatti's co-conspirator in the criminal indictment. It's a Clinton-linked attorney who also works for CNN. Come on, man. Is this for real? It just, in the day and age right now where we have the internet, we have information at our fingertips, you know, I'm not saying you could, doxing people is bad, but you can pretty much find out anything about anybody nowadays on the internet. It's all out there. Michael Avenatti, Jussie Smollett. How did you guys not think we were going to find this out sooner or later? So apparently the Clinton-linked attorney, so attorney linked to Clinton, also a co-conspirator with Michael Avenatti in a shakedown of the corporation Nike, who also worked for CNN. And we know that Michael Avenatti on CNN was given hundreds of hours of talk time on CNN to blast Trump. Again today, hashtag Basta. Basta in Spanish means stop, but hashtag Basta was being used against Michael Avenatti today by Don Jr. So I just checking I was checking the chat real quick, make sure I was up to date. But Michael Avenatti, Don Jr. I mean, karma really is the B word. Itch. Karma is an itch. There's no question about it. And Don Jr. retweeting out to Michael Avenatti all day long. Screenshots of Avenatti's tweets saying that, mark my words, guaranteed Don Jr. going to prison, guaranteed Don Jr. before his birthday this, and Donald Trump this, and making all these accusations. And Don Jr. retweeting them out all day long, having a blast. One of the tweets that he put out today went to the effect of, "Hey, Michael, if you hurry up real fast and do a plea agreement, maybe you might be able to share a cell with Michael Cohen." Come on, man, that couldn't be any better. It's hysterical. Don Jr. piling on Michael Cohen and Michael Avenatti. Michael Cohen was a running joke in the Trump administration because he was nonstop, you know, that guy that just wouldn't quit. Like, come on, man, just go away. No, you can't have a job in the Trump administration. No, dude, go away. So now the two of them going to prison. This is a pretty big deal, folks. This thing from Michael Avenatti is a pretty big deal. It really is. And I'm glad that justice be served. If you do something as corrupt as this, if you do a shakedown on anybody, if you threaten people in this manner to give up money, extortion, money laundering, things like that, you absolutely should pay for the crime. Unlike Donald Trump, folks, I mean, I tune out over the weekend sometimes, but I'll still be plugged in like early Saturday morning when everybody's waking up, or early Sunday morning. I'll get plugged in and just catch up on the news. But I know there's a lot of people, my wife included. I mean, she'll tune out during the weekend, and I won't talk about politics. I try to keep that down on a down low, and try not to talk about news unless something really is kind of breaking or something that should be said. But today, when my wife came home around 3:34, I said, "Hey, AG, the news of the day, you ready for it?" She said, "Yeah, sure." I said, "Donald Trump totally exonerated." I'm not shocked. No, man, this is not climactic. People over the weekend were like, party time, excellent. People kicking back, having drinks, throwing Trump parties. And I'm like, and my cousin, I talked with him today. I talked with Carrie today too. And we're both like, no, man, this is so anticlimactic. It really is. There's, I put it in the show note. Folks, check this out. I don't get YouTube's description. I don't understand it. I don't get it. They got issues when I put links in the YouTube description. I don't understand it. Anyways, last week I told you I put the link in the description to our show, Russia, Russia, Russia. I did put it in there this week. So look down. It's right there at the top. Look down at the bottom in the description below. And the link for our show, Russia, 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 from 2016, December 11th. I actually plugged it in, put the earphones on today, and I started listening to some of it. I listened to about the first hour of it. Now, I'm going to say, folks, it's unedited. It's on the radio. We have a lot of fun. We joke around a little bit. And that was kind of like in the time where, you know, I'd play games with Carrie, and I'd play a soundbite in the middle of him talking or when he was thinking, kind of screw with him a little bit. I don't do that no more. But seriously, it was a lot of fun, a lot of laughing, a lot of goofing, and it's a great show to watch. But again, when I was listening to it again, we started talking about it all over again. The CIA getting involved, the Democrat Party getting involved. The Democrat Party was screaming that they were hacked by Russia. And the reason why that they screamed they were hacked by Russia and not Seth Rich, as we know now, is because the CIA couldn't get involved in it. It would be an FBI incident. If the Democrats were hacked by Seth Rich or hacked by an American person, then it would be an FBI situation. If they were hacked by a foreign government, then that would warrant the CIA to get involved. So you're like, well, what does all that mean? What all that means is John Brennan, Clapper, Comey. Oh, here, I got the list right here, folks. Got the usual suspects right here. We got Brennan, Clapper, Comey, Strzok, Rosenstein, McCabe, Eric Holder. You got all these, Bruce Orr, Peter Strzok. You got all these players. Nellie Orr, Loretta Lynch, Sally Yates, Valerie Jarrett, who I still don't believe she's black. I still believe she is Iranian, but I do not believe that she is to be referred to as an African American because she's not. She's from Iran. So I got Roseanne Barr's back on that one. Suzanne Rice, Schultz, Glenn Simpson, Cheryl Mills. Okay. With that being said, the Clinton administration, or the Clinton administration, the Obama administration, with Clinton running for president, could then sick the watchdogs, sick the FBI, sick the CIA. They could legitimately do that in the eyes of the American citizens. That, okay, yeah, well, if Russian hacked, then send the CIA to figure out what's going on. If they're involved here in America, which that's what was stated, George Papadopoulos said there was a character that approached him here in America. So the FBI now get involved, looking into that. weaponizing the branches of the government. That's exactly what Obama did. That's what the administration did. And so then that's the drum up of the Russian collusion. In the show that we did, granted, we goof off a lot and we have some fun. In the show that we did, you just got to be patient with it, but enjoy it. Enjoy it. There's a lot of great information. We play a clip from Reince Priebus where he goes on with fake Jake and completely interrupted, couldn't stop him. You can clearly see, folks, you got to look back in history. I almost decided to play that show for tonight's show. Like literally, it's that incredible to look back in history. 2.5 years ago, to look back and listen to all the news that we lay out. Listen to the Russia. I opened the show up with the clip, Marsha. And then the whole show is called Crazy Russian Hacker. You see the clip, the thumbnail for the show today. Crazy Russian Hacker. Folks, that's what this was all about. So go all the way back then. We were screaming to the mountaintops how fake this was, how wrong this was. We were putting the pieces together. And now, from then till now, all the incredible details. I mean, just pieces of puzzles that were just mind-blowing. I reported on this last Thursday, about the breaking news of the Ukrainian government being involved with the Russian government, connected with the FBI here in America. It's just mind-boggling, the spy novel that this would create. It's just mind-boggling. So with that being said, Donald Trump tweeting out saying Donald Trump tweeting out, no collusion, no obstruction, complete and total exoneration, keep America great. So with that statement, you know they're going to come after it. Fake news has been at it all day. Just blasting Trump over the weekend, just blasting Trump. This doesn't exonerate you 100%. And it's just on and on and on. Why? Because the gig is up. What else they got? Well, I'm going to tell you what else they got. They got screaming and yelling. It's like that spoiled child. It's like that child that had never been punished or never been properly spanked as a youth, or given a timeout or taught proper manners, and then that child is 19 years old or in their teens, and somebody out of the blue tells them they can't do something. You want to see the temper tantrum? You want to see the outrageous insanity? That's the Democrats right now. Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Peter Schiff over the weekend called for a emergency phone call meeting. This reported by someone inside the meeting, that they were incensed with everything going on, and they're pushing for the Mueller report. Mueller report was given to Barr. Attorney General Barr gave a summary of the report. They don't want the summary, and they don't want closed door, top secret information. They don't want none of that. We want the people to see the report. We want it all to come. We want transparency. We don't want behind doors. We don't want redactions. We want this completely unredacted, and we want to see the Mueller report, and we want it to be shown to the public. And that was their meeting. The big meeting was all about this, and just insanity ensued, folks. Crazy nonsense. And I'll get into why they're behaving like this and why they're asking for the Mueller report to be unredacted and released to the public, and then I'll explain to you why that's not possible. And with that being said, this is breaking CNN news over the weekend. Breaking CNN news. They talk about the Mueller report, and then they cut to President Donald Trump in Florida, and his comments as well. So check this out real quick.
Breaking news.
A bombshell.
Today is a turning point. Today was historically bad for President Trump.
Today was a turning point.
A turning point. We're at a turning point here.
The beginning of the end for the Trump presidency.
We have another bombshell.
Mike Pence might have to assume the office of the presidency.
Rumblings of the word impeachment.
Breaking news.
Another bombshell out of the White House.
I believe this is the beginning of the end.
I do too.
It's really the beginning of the end.
He may be feeling the walls closing in on him.
All the walls closing in on him.
The walls closing in on him.
Breaking news, a new bombshell.
One astrologer says this means the beginning of the end for President Donald Trump.
Trump will resign.
Trump is going to resign.
Is this the tipping point? I know we've said it over and over.
You think this is a tipping point?
And over and over.
This is a tipping point.
And over and over.
Breaking news, President Trump off the rails.
It was the beginning of the end today.
The beginning of the end.
Breaking news tonight, new bombshell.
This is the beginning of the end.
The beginning of the end.
The walls are closing in.
The walls closing in.
The walls closing in.
Breaking overnight bombshell.
This is a very dramatic day, and I think it might be near a tipping point. Do you think this is a tipping point?
December 1st, 2017, you can mark it down. This is the day that everything changed.
The beginning of the end?
Beginning of the end.
The beginning of the end.
The beginning of the end.
The beginning of the...
We begin tonight with a bombshell.
Donald Trump is in a lot of trouble.
Trump is in trouble.
The president will resign.
Another hour, another bombshell.
This is a tipping point.
Trump's going down.
This president could be impeached.
Resignation. I don't think this president is going to serve out his term. Mr. Trump will not serve out his term. He will not serve out his term. No way. No how. Breaking news.
Absolute bombshell.
Donald Trump is not. He's done. And it's over.
It's over.
The walls closing in.
The walls closing in. This is going to be the Achilles heel.
Breaking news tonight. I expect Trump to depart.
This week will be the watershed week.
Trump is in big trouble.
Trump's in a lot of trouble.
It's a sign of a terrified old man who feels the
walls
closing in.
The walls
are increasingly
closing in on him.
Tonight, the walls
are closing in.
Today changed everything. This is the beginning
Of the end.
Today, the biggest
Tipping point for the Trump administration.
What a historic day. The bombshells.
He's underwater. He feels
The walls closing in.
turning point.
we may be at a tipping point.
It's the beginning of
The end.
The beginning
of the end.
Another bombshell.
Bombshell. Bombshell.
Bombshell.
Bombshell.
Bombshell.
Bombshell. This is a bombshell.
It is.
Okay, so that wasn't the clip I wanted to play. There's a little bit of an accent. But I did want you guys to see that because do you realize that was 2017 all the way through May, July, August of 2018? That was the news. This is why we do Smith.tv. This is why we do New Right Network tonight. There's a reason for the show because there's such a demand for real news. It is so fitting for Avenatti. Avenatti was in that clip, folks. Yeah, that was a flashback from 2018. Avenatti's in some trouble, man. But anyway, so here's Trump in Florida. MSNBC reporting on Trump in Florida and what he had to say about the Mueller report.
Members of the Trump campaign conspired or coordinated with Russia to influence the U.S. election. On the issue of obstruction of justice, the special counsel did not draw a conclusion, but the attorney general says there was not sufficient evidence to establish the president obstructed justice. Here's what the president just said moments ago at the Palm Beach International Airport.
So after a long look, after a long investigation, after so many people have been so badly hurt, after not looking at the other side, where a lot of bad things happened, a lot of horrible things happened, a lot of very bad things happened for our country. It was just announced there was no collusion with Russia, the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. There was no collusion with Russia. There was no obstruction and none whatsoever. And it was a complete and total exoneration. It's a shame that our country had to go through this. To be honest, it's a shame that your president has had to go through this before I even got elected. It began. And it began illegally. And hopefully somebody's going to look at the other side. This was an illegal takedown that failed. And hopefully somebody's going to be looking at the other side. So it's complete exoneration No collusion, no obstruction. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's go quickly to Chief White House Correspondent Hallie Jackson. Hallie.
What you heard from the president is not surprising, Kate, but let's put it into context here. When the president talks about no collusion in the sense that the special counsel did not find that the Trump campaign coordinated with Russia in the election, he is correct. On the issue of obstruction, however, when the president says this was a complete and total exoneration.
Okay, hold on. I got to call you on the carpet on that one. If there's no collusion and there's no crime, there's no collusion, there's no crime, how can you obstruct something that never happened? I'm sorry. There is no obstruction. There cannot be obstruction of something that never happened. And again, nobody's got this. There's no evidence of any of this whatsoever. And let's get into this real quick. This is Devin Nunes. House Intel will make criminal referrals to Attorney General Barr on the FBI DOJ officials who perpetrated this hoax. Folks, I think the Republicans, at least some of them, starting to get a backbone, starting getting a little bit of a spine here and deciding to kind of step this up. Devin Nunes, an absolute warrior for Donald Trump, stepping it up, making things happen. If he says that they're going to make criminal referrals to Attorney General Barr, I believe that's going to happen. Donald Trump knows what is going on. He knows everything that's going on. And I'm telling you, we were a little bit nervous about Attorney Barr because of people saying that he knows Mueller or insiders this or insiders that. And I continue to say, you've got to wait for it. If he's been around in politics this long, they all know everybody somewhere, somehow. So you got to let that be. I'm starting to gain more and more faith and more trust in Attorney Barr. I'm excited about how fast and how swiftly he moved with this Mueller investigation. I personally believe that he put a lot of pressure on Mueller to get this thing done and get it over with. Now that that's said, Mueller's out of the picture. Rosenstein's out of the picture. The whole FBI, the FBI and the CIA, they need to start to clean house. And Attorney General Barr is the man to do it. And I'm really, really excited about this. This by Bernard Kirk, Bernardkerik. He's the 40th police commissioner of the New York Police Department and New York Times bestselling author. He tweeted out, breaking news. House GOP plans on making criminal referrals to Attorney General William Barr for officials who perpetrated this hoax for 3+ years in attempt to coup of POTUS at real Donald Trump. Folks, that's the police commissioner out of New York, the New York Police Department. That's the police commissioner. Y'all wanted it. It's happening. You all wanted it. It's happening. Ann Coulter, my Donald Trump, his hands are free. He's able to do what he's got to do. He's got these monkeys off his back, screaming, Russia, Russia, Russia. Ann Coulter, he's building the wall, and people going to go to jail. You got to get happy about this. You really have to get happy about this. And this at Paul Sperry _ breaking, Special Counsel Mueller clears all 4 advisors on whom Comey FBI opened espionage investigations. Carter Page cleared. Papadopoulos cleared. My main man, General Flynn, cleared. Paul Manafort cleared. All cleared of coordinating or conspiring with Russia in hacking or trolling activities during the election. Just take a minute. Let that sink in. Carter Page. FISA warrant filed on Carter Page to spy on the entire Trump campaign. Papadopoulos, a friend of the show, friend of ours, a great guy, spied on Papadopoulos. General Flynn. We know the whole situation, how that went down. He was on vacation when the Russian diplomat called him, when Barack Obama expelled Russian diplomats from America. That Russian diplomat called General Flynn while he was on vacation, and General Flynn had a conversation with him, I'm sure, whether he had a few drinks, whether he woke up, whether he was tired, whether he was partying, whether he was eating with his family, whatever the case may be, you cannot possibly remember the conversation you had with somebody in that situation. Although the FBI had the transcript of the call because they were spying on him as well and tried to get General Flynn on what we refer to as a process crime, meaning I ask you a question about a conversation you just had 3 months ago. If you cannot give me the details verbatim, you are lying or hiding stuff from the FBI. Process crime. General Flynn cleared. Papadopoulos cleared. Carter cleared. Manafort cleared. Folks, they've all been cleared. And for those of you that say, oh, well, Papadopoulos went to jail, had nothing to do with Russian collusion, trolling, emails, DNC. Had nothing to do with that. They got Papadopoulos on a process crime and said, we'll destroy your life. They did that to General Flynn. We're going to destroy your life. Not only destroy your life, do you know that they threatened General Flynn to indict his son? Flynn Jr. They were going to indict his son. What'd you do? Cooperate? Whatever you want. Leave my family out of this. You don't need to be indicting my son. He's a new husband. He's a new husband. He's a husband. He's just newly married. They just had a baby, starting out a new life and a new family. And the last thing that you want to deal with is some kind of crazy indictment from the FBI, some lie, some scam, some scheme. Cleared. Manafort cleared. So why is Manafort in jail? Has nothing to do with Trump. Has to do with him and not filing as a foreign agent, not filing paperwork in a timely manner. Tony Podesta was tipped off, though. Tony Podesta was told, hey, we're going after Manafort for some of these crimes of not filing in a proper manner or not filing at all. Tony Podesta hurried up and went ahead and filed for things that he did for 5+ years back. Don't give Manafort that. Got to take him down. Whatever Manafort did ain't got nothing to do with Trump. Manafort was only with Trump, hired on in March of 2016, and then in June became the campaign head, and then within a couple of months was fired. Was fired because it came out to light. It was exposed that the Ukrainian government, one of the officials, leaked documents to the American news outlets in order to expose Manafort and some of the dealings he was doing over there in order to trigger Russia. All of this tied to Barack Hussein Obama. All this tied to Hillary Clinton. Don't tell me it's not. All of it tied to them. Hillary Clinton paid Fusion GPS. Glenn Simpson, who went and Hillary Clinton hired Perkins Coie, who paid Fusion GPS, who hired Christopher Steele, who met with the FBI, met with the Ukrainian government, all hanging out, working together to make sure they nail this Russian collusion story, nail it right. All connected to Barack Obama, baby. I'm telling you. So, all right, so check this out. Governor Huckabee, former Governor Mike Huckabee, getting into a little tissy. Alyssa Milano gone crazy on social media from the TV show Who's the Boss, and she's a hardcore lib, hardcore Democrat, screaming and yelling all over social media, and Governor Mike Huckabee tweets out replying to her. Problem with celebrities who are all thunder and no rain, she's utterly ignorant of the law that seals grand jury testimony or protects innocent people who might be mentioned in the report. It's also called rule of law, which seems to be something the libs don't care about or understand. This is great insight, and I thank you, Governor Huckabee. Inside this Mueller report, there are going to be names of innocent individuals. There are going to be names of people that shouldn't be known. Like if the report had something in there that Brian and Carrie Smith of Smith Radio mentioned that on December 11th, 2016, they did a show at Russia, exposing the whole scenario. We could be in that report. And if we are in that report, it would be wrong to release this report with our names and our show attached to it in some form or fashion without us knowing. We would be innocent bystanders in a drive-by, if you will, that this report will go out and all of a sudden we're named in it. Not that we're named in it as doing something wrong. We're named in it in the report as for whatever reason. So yes, rule of law, this cannot come out in a sense in the way that the Democrats want it to come out. And that's why Attorney General Barr wrote a summary and sent it out. That's all you're going to get, Dems. You ain't getting nothing else. They ain't nothing else. And you can cry and scream that you want more, but that's all you're going to get. So just tweeted out, who was that? Chick Threads Alaska. Been out of the loop, but was CNN there when Avenatti was arrested? No, CNN was not there. CNN was giving a heads up when our good friend Roger Stone was arrested. Dozens of agents, body gear, cameras, weapons, long guns, handguns. They had a boat that pulled up in his backyard. They had people coming out of the backyard. All of this, the dawn raid of our good friend Roger Stone. Why him and his wife, older folks, seasoned veterans, asleep in her pajamas, in his pajamas, pulled guns blazing, when he was already working with the FBI. His lawyer and the FBI are already working together. He was already cooperating with the FBI. I can't say that enough. Roger Stone was already in talks with and cooperating with the FBI, and they raid his house to serve a warrant for his arrest to go to court. This is absolute. This is the evil that we fight daily here on Smith TV. This is the evil that we fight, the righteous. This is the evil we fight. When we say fight the good fight as a Christian, as a follower of Christ, as a Christian, fight the good fight, that's what this is. Not physically, but fighting it emotionally, knowing that the wrongs must be righted, knowing that these people who perpetrate these things, that they get their just dessert. And no, I don't believe that when Michael Avenatti was arrested, that at least the CNN hasn't come out with the camera, with the footage, but I don't believe that there were guns drawn and dozens of agents making sure that he wasn't a threat to society, but I digress. Good question, though. That was a good question. I do not believe CNN was there when Michael Avenatti was arrested. And again, Huckabee, back to Governor Huckabee, thank you so much. Nancy Pelosi tweeted this out, and this kind of goes hand in hand with Mike Huckabee's, Governor Huckabee's statement that that law that seals grand jury testimony or protects innocent people who might be mentioned in the report. It's also called the rule of law, which seems to be something libs don't care or understand. Okay. Nancy Pelosi getting into the fray. And again, as I mentioned, she called for an emergency meeting over the weekend, anticipating this release of the Mueller report. And at Nancy Pelosi tweeting out, AG Barr's letter raises as many questions as it answers. What? What? The fact that Mueller's report does not exonerate the president on a charge as serious as obstruction of justice demonstrates how urgent it is that the full report and documentation be made public without any further delay. What? Okay. At Red Wing Gripes, at Red Wing Gripes, how can one be charged with obstruction of justice when they're not even guilty of the alleged charge in the first place? Attorney General Barr's report summary made clear there was no obstruction. Someone get grandma B12 and prune juice. Time to put you in a home. See, for those of you who don't get on Twitter, I'm here for you. I know my dad listens to this show and I love it. Give my dad a shout out. He's not on Twitter, but he's got the Periscope and listens to this show on Spreaker. But I hope this entertains you, Pops. This is insanity that happens on Twitter where public officials say something or tweet something out and then instantly are shut down by John Q. Citizen. And in this case, Red Wing Gripes. Fantastic. And this kind of in the same category and a follow-up with at Mark Meadows. My Democrat colleagues keep seizing on this line that Mueller report doesn't exonerate the president. Folks, prosecutors don't exonerate people. They either find evidence or they don't. They looked for 22 months and found none. It isn't there. No collusion, no obstruction. Thank you, Representative Mark Meadows. See, folks, it's just what it is. It's just common sense. There's a lot of things that we don't know when it comes to law. I'm not a lawyer, never claimed to be. And again, I've done scopes on corporations and corporate structure. There's a lot of things in corporate structuring that would blow your mind that you would think is totally illegal. And it is illegal for you as a citizen to do it. But as a corporation and corporate structure, they're the rules that corporations play by. And they're 100% legal. And if you know the rules and you play them very well, you can get creative with them and get very successful. But anyway, I digress. We don't know, unless you're a lawyer, we don't know these certain things. And thank goodness for social media. Thank goodness for the great folks like Mark Meadows and Governor Huckabee for letting citizens know what's really going on. And this at Representative Adam Schiff, Mueller's report is going to have to be made public ASAP. A summary of his conclusions simply won't cut it. And the underlying evidence must be produced. Absolute transparency is required. Mueller spent 2 years investigating, and the public has a right to know what he found. What? What are we talking about, Adam Schiff? This clip is a little too long for me to play the whole thing, but I am going to play the very beginning of it. This is Adam Schiff yesterday, I believe, Sunday on Deface the Nation. And you'll be a little bit no, you won't be shocked. There's a little bit of Deface Nation and how they actually, I feel like they humiliate Adam Schiff. But check this out.
We begin in Los Angeles with the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, Adam Schiff. Welcome to Face the Nation.
Good morning.
Congressman, no member of the Trump campaign was indicted for conspiring with Russia. I want to play for you what you had predicted.
I think there's plenty of evidence of collusion or conspiracy in plain sight.
This is August 5th, 2018 of last year.
Now, that's a different statement than saying that there's proof beyond a reasonable doubt of a criminal conspiracy. Bob Mueller will have to determine that. On the issue of collusion, the reality is that there is ample evidence of collusion in plain sight, and it has been for a very long time.
Mueller does not think there is a criminal conspiracy on this front. Does it hurt your case?
No, as I said, I have great confidence in Bob Mueller's judgment as to who should be prosecuted or who should not.
Okay. Well, that being said, then you should let it go. If you've got good judgment in Bob Mueller, who should be prosecuted and who shouldn't be, well, there are no more indictments. There are no more indictments. The indictment process is over. The Mueller investigation is over. It is finished. Finito. Complete. Done. Over. There is no more. Exoneration. Just like when Donald Trump said my wires are tapped, Barack Obama tapped my wires. It's the wording that he uses, and I love it because it gets these people triggered. What do you mean wires? Who taps wires anymore? I don't know, but it's still funny. So Adam Schiff absolutely losing his mind. James Clapper goes on CNN with Wolf Blitzer. Clapper responds to no collusion by anyone in the Trump campaign. Just listen to this real quick.
Just to get your reaction, you've had a chance to go through this 4-page document. What do you think?
Well, it's actually more forthcoming than I thought it would be, but it certainly leaves a lot of unanswered questions. And, of course, like everybody else, I'm curious about Mueller's decision to defer to the Department of Justice on a determination about exoneration. Clearly, the White House and the president already are spiking the ball in the end zone.
Of course they're spiking the ball. Hey, Mr. Clapper, I just give you a heads up. Just one-on-one, I think you better lawyer up, brah. You and then give your buddy John Brennan, give him a call too. Y'all better lawyer up because you're gonna need that kind of stuff. The deep state is absolutely reeling. It's falling apart. Little baby Brian Stelter on CNN. Little baby Brian Stelter tweeted out, the core truth, as David Frum says, is that the President of the United States was helped into his job by clandestine Russian attacks on the American political process. This at The Atlantic. I'm getting a headache thinking about what Brian Stelter would tweet out. All right, here's Dinesh D'Souza replied to him. Dinesh D'Souza said, damage control. Here the slimy, dishonest perpetrators of the greatest fraud in modern history attempt to vindicate the legitimacy of their enterprise. Absolutely, this is all they're going to keep doing. They're going to continue to weaponize this. They're going to continue to spin this. They've got to protect themselves and each other. The mainstream media is throwing shade for the Democrats because that's who they're getting paid by. And this Sean M. Dave at SEANMDAV from the Federalist, he tweets out, the thoroughness with which Hemingway utterly eviscerates and embarrasses Hillary Clinton hack and deranged Trump Russia truther Philip Raines, here is a marvel to behold. Check this out. If you're not following Molly Hemingway, you're not following nobody. You absolutely need to follow Molly Hemingway. And this real quick from Fox News.
After 2 years of saturation media coverage, analysis, speculation, and doomsday predictions, the Robert Mueller investigation is over. And when the special counsel's report was delivered to Attorney General Bill Barr at 5 o'clock Friday, journalists knew virtually nothing other than a senior Justice Department official soon telling reporters Mueller would bring no further indictments. But that didn't slow down the nonstop chatter.
Manafort, Cohen, Flynn, Papadopoulos, Gates, Vanderswan, Pinedo, Kalimnik, Stone. If this was a witch hunt, it's the most successful witch hunt in American history.
The president is certainly going to be in a position to declare victory, probably, it looks like, this weekend.
Why was there never an interrogation of this president? How can they let Trump off the hook?
To say that somehow this clears the president seems like the height of rushing to judgment.
The biggest lingering question now is Trump compromised by the Russians? Because there's really nothing else that logically explains his behavior, his deference towards Vladimir Putin.
There could be information in there that may well be negative information for the president, may not put him and his campaign in a very positive light.
The people on TV have been lying to you. They'll deny it now,
They'll tell you this was always about Trump's taxes or some foreign real estate deal or hush money he paid to a girlfriend. That's a crock.
Washington remains on red alert, waiting for Barr, who's working at the Justice Department this morning, to brief Capitol Hill on the principal findings, which may happen today. Joining us now to analyze the coverage, Molly Hemingway, senior editor at The Federalist and a Fox News contributor. Sarah Fisher, media reporter for Axios. And Philippe Reines, a former State Department official under Hillary Clinton. Molly, there are still big ifs here because we haven't seen the report. But since it shows no criminal collusion with Russia, because no further indictments, what judgment will history render on the 2 years of extraordinarily intensive and often overwrought media coverage?
Yeah, the media had an opportunity after the failures of their coverage of the 2016 campaign and election to really redouble their efforts to do a good job covering a man that they had trouble covering during the primary and during the election. Instead, they rolled right into an absolutely deranged conspiracy theory that held the country hostage for more than 2 years. And to come to this end is absolutely devastating. Their credibility was already very bad, and now it is at an apocalyptic level event. It is unclear whether they will be able to return from this.
Just to be clear, are you saying that the media pushed this, what you call a deranged conspiracy theory, or covered conspiracy theories spun by others?
Both. So they weren't critical enough of a conspiracy theory that they were being fed by others. This was an information operation that was secretly funded, as we learned a year and a half into it, secretly funded by Hillary Clinton and the Democratic National Committee. They weren't skeptical enough of what they were hearing from their sources, and then they also just leaned right into it. This is a broad failure of both the media and some other people.
Well, that, of course, is about the beginning of the investigation, Philippe, but the media, of course, reported on Mueller's 37 indictments. It doesn't invalidate the investigation that hasn't going any farther. Would you agree that Russian collusion, and how many times did we hear Trump say no collusion, no collusion?
234.
Was at the heart of the matter and the heart of the coverage, and therefore no further indictments is a very big deal?
This is what I know. I know that none of the three of us, none of you, none of your 1.2 million-ish viewers, unless Bill Barr has taken a moment to watch TV, knows what's in this report. We know one thing. It's over. We need to read it. Now, Molly first is criticizing conspiracy theories and then immediately creates a new conspiracy theory that Hillary Clinton is financing and there's a cabal of people behind everything that's happened. The people behind what's happened is Donald Trump. True conspiracy theories are Uranium One, are Seth Rich. There is no one.
So I wanted you to hear that last part. Conspiracy theories are Donald Trump and not Hillary Clinton. We know Hillary Clinton is all behind it. Look at that. Everything that you know, everything that we've reported, everything that you've seen on social media, everything that you know from either Molly Hemingway or some of the other great reporters, John Solomon from The Hill, all the information that you know to be a fact, listening to that hack speak has to make you want to laugh and make you want to look at him and say, bro, no, that doesn't cut the mustard. Uranium One being conspiracy theory? There's no conspiracy theory about that. There's no theory about that. Conspiracy theory. There's no theory about that. There's a factual conspiracy. We know the people who conspired to sell 20% of America's uranium. And it happened. And it went to Russia. And Hillary Clinton had to sign off on it. And her husband gave a speaking engagement in the Kremlin. There's a conspiracy. It's not a theory. It's a fact. Seth Rich, there's no conspiracy theory about that. It's a fact that we know the conspirators involved in why Seth Rich was murdered. Because he was about ready to expose you all. I'm just beside myself with this guy that threw that out. That was just unbelievable how he threw that out. And Lindsey Graham, guys, you got to see this by Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham's got a new lease on life, y'all. I'm telling you right now, I'm thoroughly excited with where this is going with Lindsey Graham. Here, check this out real quick. I'll give you the screen. Okay. And I'll read it for you. James Comey tweeted out this picture, which was very disturbing. For those of you audio only, I'll describe it. It looks like he's in the sequoia redwood forest, these trees that go straight up into the sky, and he's completely covered, and he's in the forest, and James Comey is by himself looking straight up in the air, and he tweets it out and says, "So many questions." It's just, it's a little weird, and everybody piled on him, but I just wanted you to see the one that piled on him, my favorite one that piled on him. Lindsey Graham retweeted this with a comment and said, "Could not agree more. See you soon." Guys, if they're going to call Comey to the Hill to testify, you got to get excited about this stuff. The people who committed these crimes, he lied under oath. Sally Yates lied under oath. You've got Peter Strzok and John Brennan lied under oath. Clapper lied under oath. McCabe, all these deep-seated people. Now, granted, we have a system that is set up by flawed human beings. When you say the system is broke, it's not the system that's broke. It's people that are broke. The system was created by flawed human beings, so there's always going to be a flaw. There's always going to be a two-tier system. There's always going to be a cheat. There's always going to be a way out. Hang your hat knowing that Donald Trump won. If that doesn't satisfy you, pray to your Savior, Jesus Christ, and ask him, say, "God, give me the serenity and the calmness in knowing that people who destroy other people's lives and don't care, that they get their just dessert." And as we can see, Michael Avenatti getting a hit. Oh boy, it ain't gonna be no good. So somebody retweeted a picture right to Lindsey Graham, and it's a picture of Lindsey Graham sticking his head out behind one of the trees, looking at Comey, saying, "See you soon." Guys, this is a good time to be alive. This is a great time. We're in the moment, in the here and the now. Things are coming together. Donald Trump knows what's going on. He knows the inside. He knows the players. He knows everybody who did everything wrong. And he knows how to get back at it. Folks, for everybody who's screaming and yelling, now, release the FISA, unredacted, Trump, you've got to help us. You've got to this, you've got to that. There's a reason for everything. The madness is out there, I understand. There's a reason for everything, and everything has to come out all in its due time. The fact that Trump waited this out, he won this in epic form. Folks, Donald Trump didn't get involved.
With unfathomable power. What kind of power? Unfathomable. It's without fathom.
Without fathom. I'm just saying. Donald Trump didn't get involved. Donald Trump didn't say anything. Donald Trump didn't go after him. He left it alone. He left Mueller to his own devices. He left Rosenstein. They were all reeling for 2 straight years. Now it's done. Hang your hat on knowing that it's done. It's complete. It's over. All right, everybody. This is Brian Smith signing off for New Right Network tonight. Smith.tv. Got a brand new website up. They're looking incredible. Thank you, Shadowed Spook, for that. We appreciate all the help and all the assistance that everyone have given. Thank you, Vessi, for the assistance and for helping us out with the new store. We got a new store coming up. We're excited about a lot of new things that are coming out with New Right Network tonight, and we're excited about some new projects that we're involved with. Smith.tv. I can't spill the beans yet. But I'm really, really excited about the trajectory that we have, the path that we're going down. I'm super excited. Prayed a lot about it, and I feel like prayers have been answered. Things are moving in the right direction in a very smooth pace to where you don't have to fight it. That, to me, makes me feel like it's the right way. So with that going on, Avenatti, breaking news, Avenatti released on $300,000 bond. Holy smoke. And then that was out by, Bill Moran. Thank you, Bill Moran. I appreciate you giving the heads up on that. Chick Threads Alaska. Loving Lindsay since no name is gone. Yeah, we don't need to talk about why Lindsay come out the closet. And this one by It's Ann for Trump. He's just going to say he doesn't recall. Yeah, I know he will. Chicks Thread Alaska. I didn't know that. She made it in the comments board. Why was Donna Berzier in the same hospital when Seth Rich arrived? I didn't know that. I do know that her and Seth Rich got into such a heated argument that it could be heard out the hallway, and people reported in the DNC that Seth Rich and Donna Berzier got into a shouting match. Wow. A red pill report. Why even make it an issue then? Why bring it up on Fox News and out-emphasize on it? Yes, they are definitely going to twist this into something crazy. All right, folks. Crush a share, crush a follow. Send us all your friends and family. Tell them about the new network that's out, giving you the real news, exposing the fake news of the Democrat Party. We need your help and your assistance. Twitter doesn't like us. They've got a shadow ban. Facebook doesn't like us. They've got a shadow ban. YouTube doesn't. They don't. None of them like us because we're exposing all of them as well. So I will leave you with this. It's one of our old little montages that I put together a long time ago. So check this out real quick. My two favorite presidents. Good night, folks. I'll see you tomorrow, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern.
You've been listening to New Right Network, mobilizing, countering, energizing. Online at newrightnetwork.com.